Hello everyone and welcome back to another wonderful video from Navis Nobilite. It's been a very long time and I'm sorry. I only managed to get a little bit of free time here on my workday to come and have a word with all of you. First things first, I will be going to Adepticon, assuming nothing catastrophic happens in regards to my work, but I should be going. If I'm there, please come say hi and come play some BFG with me. It's looking like it's going to be a great time. I'm going to try to organize some BFG games outside of the tournament that's happening. And I'll try to get more information about generally all of the cool stuff that BFG is going to have at Adepticon. So come to the Discord server, to the Adepticon area, and talk there about organizing some games. Today, I want to start a tiny new mini series where I am going and showing all of you some of the places that I go to get my miniatures. Now, I am going to be showcasing specifically individual creators and giving you some idea of where to get them because nothing in the world is worse than having, seeing a beautiful fleet and not being allowed to do anything with it. I'll be mentioning in this particular scenario two individual creators. I'm going to set up for some more. The next video is going to be those harder to find miniatures that you may see out there on the internet that are particularly beautiful, but either due to negligence or other factors in the life of the creator, they're just particularly difficult to get your hands on. So today we're going to start with Italianmoose, which I think everybody in the community knows about. This is his Cults 3D, and this is probably the best place to find most of his work. Now, he does have I believe it's a Maker's Mark that has some other stuff in it, but we're going to be going through and talking about the benefits of Italianmoose, maybe some of the weaknesses of his designs. I'm not here to be a sycophant. I'm here to give you a review. Some things are really, really good. Not everything is perfect, and if you find that one of the things that you are looking for isn't present, you may want to look at a different creator. So first things first, I think everybody knows Italianmoose. He's one of the most prolific 3D modelers out there, and certainly the most popular for his impressive designs. These are the really important featured ones, things like the Imperial Navy. As you can see, he has options that effectively spread across every fleet or faction of the Imperial Navy. If you want to build one, you could definitely do it here. He even has really cool little alternate patterns for Imperial Navy ships. These Victory pattern cruisers are adorable. I really wish you would make a battleship. I wish you would make a full spread in this design. I would absolutely build a fleet of it. But as you can see, we have even like little fleet monitors, even system monitor ships out there. He has a wonderful broad spectrum. Now, some of his designs end up in other places, especially Soulforge Studios, which we will get to here in a moment. But we can also go over here to his Eldar. Now, the Eldar is where I'm going to first make some criticisms of his design. Now, most of his designs are phenomenal. In fact, his Craft World Eldar designs are almost perfect. I love his Craft World designs. They are beautiful. The only reason why I prefer the older ones is because I'm a freak of nostalgia. His Corsairs, I'm a little less enamored by his Corsairs. They kind of lack the elegance and the organic feel of the original Corsairs in metal. And the good news is you can get Corsair Eldar still on eBay for reasonable prices. But I think there's something missing, but if you like these designs, by all means get them. And as an alternative, there is, of course, his Elfdar Ancient Fleet, which can be used as Corsair, Craft World, or even Dark Eldar. And it's cool that he actually released the heavy transport into Cults 3D. That used to be a backer specific thing. He also has his rendition of the Haven Spire, which is absolutely beautiful. I love his Haven Spire. Those of us who actually own the Forge World one will covet it to the end of days, but his Haven Spire is fantastic. So when we regard to weaknesses of these designs, the Craft World ones are fragile, and the Elfdar ancient ones are particularly fragile. With the sails, they will break off very easily. There's not a lot you can do about it, but they are pretty, and that's really what we're going for in an Eldar ship. So, I mean, I guess we'll just have to cope. But oh God, when it comes to the aesthetic, he absolutely nails it. So, moving over to Acadia. Now, these are meant to be resemble and be used in stuff like Space Fleet, the precursor game to Battlefleet Gothic. These may not necessarily have a place in BFG unless someone makes their own rules for it, but they are very pretty and they are very nostalgic. The I will always have a particular love of his chaos ships. Over here, the Alces pattern, if that's how it's pronounced. If not, you can make fun of me. Has effectively the entire lexicon of uh, chaos cruisers that you could ask for, including fan-made ones like here, the light cruisers, which are all really, really pretty. And given that I am building a light cruiser fleet, this may be important to you in the future. Look at that beautiful Hellbringer. Okay, so if you are looking for a more classic Chaos design, this is 100% for you. He even has the individual attack craft. If you're looking for a more streamlined, less chaosy design, you have the Tiamat pattern, which I have a particular love in because I had a hand in its design. But he does actually have more than is listed here in up here in his feature design. So I'm going to go and try and find some of it down here in the depths. He of course has Space Marine ships. Effectively, he has just this beautiful menagerie, but there's a specific, yeah, the specific group that I'm looking for here are the Tau. He has excellent Tau vessels that are great interpretations of the Commerce Protection Fleet. There is only one criticism that I have, and it's over here with his Custodian. The Custodian does not fit his Wardens inside the central bay here, which is a pretty important design feature for the Custodian. That's my only criticisms. If you can't find the Forge Worlds, this is just fine. 100%. They're beautiful ships. Now, Italianmoose is astoundingly talented. He's a wonderful designer, and he's a good person. Even if me and him are not on good terms right now, I will always say how great his work is. Um, oh, here he also has a classic pattern of the Tau ships. Now, personally, I would not get these, not because these are bad, but because there are better options out there, even if they are difficult to find. I will get into those in the next video that I'll be releasing, probably either today or tomorrow if I'm lucky. But if you are looking for a good looking traditional vessel for BFG and everything that in all of the more nominal fleets, you don't find orcs here, unfortunately. You can find it, including the Demiurge. Now, moving on to Soulforge Studios, made by John Tall Jones and John the Warlock. I believe it's John Tall Jones. If I'm wrong, you can make fun of me for it later. They have endeavored to create everything, and broadly speaking, they have they have succeeded. So over here we have uh basically everything that Soulforge Studios is to sell. Now this is on Godforge, which, if I remember correctly, has everything. It's just in a not exactly easy to navigate. So let's see. Those are Iron Hands. That's a Human Navy. They should have everything. At least you would think that they had everything here, but looks like they only have batteries. Come on, I'm sure they have cruisers here. Here we go, cruiser. This is unusual. I was expecting them to have something more. Sorry, I'm navigating this for the first time in a long time. There we go. So as you can see, they do have a pattern of human cruiser. They have a warlock pattern. I think there's another pattern around here somewhere. You have orcs. They have everything here. It's just not necessarily very well organized. But you can find absolutely every fleet in BFG here in a positively beautiful pattern. They are all of them extraordinarily well designed. They are what you see, what you get by design. And I have always stated that Soulforge Studios designs are positively fantastic. They have so many different options for orc ships. I absolutely love the originals. They did make newer ones that look absolutely awesome, that have a bunch more bits on them to make them look like they're cobbled together from other ships, like these scrapper escorts here. These look like Savage gun ships, but they have the looted Eldar and Dark Eldar bits, which I absolutely love. So uh yeah, they have everything. They have everything. They're all down here. That's why it was hard to find. Oh, that's cool. They have quote unquote Terran cruisers. That's cool. I've never really saw those. But again, if you're looking for them, this is a great place to find. Now, you may have a friend out there who was part of their original Patreon that also has everything. I always support our friendly model makers. So if you are looking at starting a fleet, I highly recommend that you take the time. Oh, that's much easier. You take the time to look at the people who actually, try to make a living off of this before you go off and find other alternatives. But 3D printing is 3D printing. But like I said, Soulforge Studios has everything. You may not like their let me see. Space bugs. That's really what I wanted to see. Because everyone talks about having problems finding Tyranids. Soulforge Studios Tyranids are phenomenal. I absolutely adore them. There are other Tyranids out there, and I'll be showing them off in other videos. But Godforge, GodforgeMinis.com is the place where I'm looking here. If you are looking for a specific fleet, I guess I can just go down by faction. So let's see. You have artisanal. So these are this is their interpretation of the Corsair. I'm personally, again, not a big fan of this design. If I was going to be most critical, I don't like their pulsar lances, but I do like how you can convert it into a more dark Eldar design. Light cruiser. They don't see any standard cruisers. Okay, well, let's see what else they have here. Oops, wrong option. Faction. All right, anarchists. These should be chaos. Yeah, here we go. And you have, of course, your options. You have your cruisers, your battleship options of varying looks. You even have a different pattern version. So these are quest. These appear to be for the Dark Mechanicus, which that's a light cruiser. I think that's also a light cruiser. Yeah, I've never really. I don't. These are kind of a cool combination of Imperial and Chaos here. But yeah, you have your escort options. You have your Grand Cruiser options. At least I thought I saw a Grand Cruiser. There's your battleship. There's a battleship. Yeah, Grand Cruiser right here. So everything you could need for Chaos. Dominion. What is Dominion? It's empty, so never mind. ELF. Elves. I don't know why they have multiple options for elves in factions. Okay, Gloomy Angels are going to be Dark Angels, which is just as effectively Dark Angels with ships with Dark Angel style prows. Which again, if you're a Dark Angels fan, this is where you want to go. They are very cool. I've actually seen them printed out. Greater good. So we have a Tau option. Now this is interesting because I know they have larger Tau ships, but they only have the escorts here, which I find to be unusual. I don't know why Godforge doesn't sell the other Tau. So you're going to have to find someone with a 3D printer for those. Well, that's the downside of Godforge. If you aren't showing everything, people aren't going to buy everything. Let's see what else we have. Human Navy. I think we were just there. Yep, just everything you could ever need for the Human Navy, including Glorianas, because why the hell not? I'm actually checking to see which if they have a Iron Hazard, which are Iron Hands, or you could have them as Iron Warriors. It could be, I suppose, it could be either one. Iron Hazard. That's going to be Iron Warriors, just because of the hazard stripes. All right, Space Marines. I will say this: their Space Marine stuff is fantastic. It's actually much better than the original pewter. So if you're looking for an excellent battle barge and definitely excellent strike cruisers, this is where to go. I basically consider these to be the quintessential strike cruiser option. Let's see, what other factions do we have? Scrappers, that's going to be orcs. Steampunk, that's going to be just a steampunk design. Cool. Look at that. I like it. Look at that. There's gears. Everything has gears. Yeah, man, I may need to get one of these. This looks fantastic. Okay. Faction, steampunk, space bugs. We already saw space bugs. Toasters. What are toasters? Oh, uh, these are Adeptus Mechanicus. This is another really good example of really good AdMech to really kind of pull in from the old uh, pewters that GW made. I really like these. These are a fantastic alternative to your standard AdMech. But then again, anything is better than the old pewters because they came from a warped mold. Fun little piece of history. What is ZSR? Oh, Necrons. Okay, so I will say this: I'm not a fan of these Necrons. I think that they're too. I don't know. There's something about them that kind of takes away. They're almost cartoony, with their funny little rims around the edges. Something about the original Necrons always seemed frightening and alien, and these have stupid headset. But if these are your only option, which I will note they are not your only option, if you like these, by all means, grab them. I do like their escorts. The escorts look very, very cool. However, they aren't my favorite, and I will be doing another video to show you all my favorite Necrons. And quite frankly, they're a superior option, and I will say that in the next video. Anyway, thank you all so much for going on this fun little adventure with me, with two very phenomenal artists. Well, three phenomenal artists, and I hope that you go and patronize them and get their ships and show them how much this community genuinely appreciates their hard work. Because without them, BFG would not be where it is today, which is to say, more of a, instead of being undead, it's more of a lich state. It has come back from the dead and now rises to rise up, moves to rise up its undead armies to conquer the rest of all miniature gaming. So, one way or another, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next videos.